Hello and welcome back to Diecast Chop Shop. Today I wanted to show you how I made this diorama, not only for less than $100, but I also just made it in a week. Which is great because I don't have that long of an attention span. Let's start off by showing you how I made the foundation and the roads. Then I'll put the parking lot and garage together. Then I'll put the McDonald's together. I add the chevron station that I assembled in a previous video. And then I go through and show you some final touch-ups I did to make this diorama look real nice. To start off, I just took some 1.5" foam board. I marked off where I wanted my buildings and roads, and I wrapped everything except the roads off with wrapping paper. Then I sprayed the foam board with some primer. Next, I added a strip of wrapping paper to the edge of the road where I wanted my white lines, so I could spray my yellow lines down the middle without messing up the white on the edges, so I could also have some white lines. Here I've sprayed the middle of the road with yellow spray paint to make the yellow lines, and I'm just pulling off that strip of wrapping paper around the edge so I can tape it off and get some black spray paint down for the rest of the road. Here's all my lines taped off. Hopefully this works. The spray paint I used melted a little bit of the insulation, so I had to take some acrylic paint with a foam brush and touch up the edges of the roads. Then I took some foam board and cut it out where I wanted my sidewalks and drew some lines in it for concrete. I glued all these down with an epoxy. I wanted to use sandpaper as the material for the parking lots, so I glued that down with the wood glue, and I found that it was best to put the seams of the sandpaper underneath the sidewalks to help hold them down. The epoxy was just much stronger than the wood glue, and I found that using certain types of model glue actually melted the foam board up as well. So when I put the base of the garage down, I put a few wood screws in it to help secure it to the foam board, and that worked out very nice. Afterwards, I ended up epoxying the building itself to the foam board, which had sandpaper on it. That also worked out very nice. Here I've put down a piece of white foam board for the foundation of my McDonald's. I have all my polystyrene walls marked where I need to have them cut at. I use the same saw that I used to cut my Hot Wheels apart to cut through the plastic. I'm just going around cutting out my windows right now. The saw works the same on plastic that it does on metal. If you're looking to practice with it, starting off on plastic is a good idea. For this hard to reach angle, I turned the saw blade around and I was cutting and pulling towards myself instead of pushing away from myself. Here you have all the walls together. All the windows are cut out. The front entry is made. Here are the roof pieces before I assemble them. Here you've got the building assembled and painted, the roof is assembled and painted, and I got all my yellow bits of plastic painted ready to be glued on. I use the clear plastic out of Hot Wheels packages and other toy packages for my windows and my drive-through boxes. I'm using leftover pieces from the yellow trim on the building to make both my signs. I'm going to use a piece of clear plastic for the glass on both of the signs. And then I'm just going to draw in with a Sharpie anything I wanted written on the signs. Doing the cobblestone was rather tricky. I've never tried to tackle a project like this. I just took some Tester's model paint and thinned it down with mineral spirits and dabbed it on with a sponge. And as I did different layers, I just altered the color a little bit to give it some different tones. And then I took a small paintbrush with some different colors yet and went around and painted individual blocks. It seemed to work pretty good. I'm happy with it. When I was done with that, I took a little bit of green model paint and I painted a shade of green up near the building where I thought moss would most naturally grow. Some other details I didn't mention were the manhole covers, the wood chips around the trees, the transformer and power line running across the street, the bump stops in front of the garage, the stoplight, and the hedges in front of the drive-thru. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I try to read all my comments. And I hope you enjoy this short tour of the diorama on the back of a Zoom-In.